introduce the melody, you introduce something and it's very declarative, right? This is why I'm here, we're singing Pastorella, this is youth and love, joy, springtime. And then all of a sudden, the middle section happens. Then there's a change back to the end. So can we start at the actual beginning of the, we started at that one, so page 135. Okay, so top system. Now, when we're talking a little bit about the tone, do you like how your sound is filling space, or do you feel like there could be a little more freedom, or what do you feel? Good, more free. Okay, so can you do this for me? Where are we going to see it? Yeah, a little more. Right, and do right here. Okay, so talk to me for a second. Say hello, hello. Go hello, hello. Good. You feel as you get higher, there's a little more vibration to, let's say, the cheek part. You go hello. Good. Now, as you're going through it, do you feel it go hello? And it drops back ever so slightly. Can it keep going? Hello. So it keeps filling the space. Huh? Hello. Good. What does that feel like to you? Yeah, a little more projected. And then can you do this for me? Hello. Hello. Yeah, what does that feel like to you? A little looser? Yeah. Okay. So that experience of sound, what are you noticing about it? Yeah, good, excellent. Yeah. Can we start at that same spot? All of the French really feel like it's going into your hands. The second you feel like you're letting it go enough, then you can let it go and just allow your hands to stay in front of you. Okay? Just so it's a physical representation of sending that sound out. Okay? We start from there. It's okay. Okay, so how does that feel? Yeah. Let's type. Now, let's talk for a second about these leaves here, right? So, are these easy for you? We're part of the voice, right? Yeah. So, can we do it for a second? You go. Can you do it for me? Good. And keep the top. The tongue is one of the strongest muscles per capita in our body. And so as a result, it's also the largest obstacle in our singing because it also is the only real articulator we have, right? So when we're dealing with the tongue, we have to allow it to get out of the way. So you can go, almost like you're munching on it while you do it, huh? Right? Yes. You feel the difference there? Now, what does that feel like to you as it comes through? Yeah, good. So how many when you sing have tongue tension? Yeah. It's a pretty standard one. I mean, this is not even just singing, this is also instruments, right? Like you'd be surprised at how much brass players, right, have to articulate very quickly with their tongue. It gets too tight, and all of a sudden, constricts the air, everything gets tight. So how can we find a way to articulate speech while also using a loose tongue? Can you just say the text here? Good. Now, not too bad. Can you get a little more mushy? Good. One more time for me. Good. Can we actually sing from that point? Can I get the A to the D? Good. Okay, so now you found the right sort of energy tone moving. You can be a little crisper with the quickness of it, right? So you feel how but then you can be a little more articulate. Make sense? One more time. Yes. Now, does that feel like you're saying the words as crisply as before? Yeah. So one of the things that we have to think about when we are doing classical singing is projection, right? If you can't be heard, then it doesn't really matter how good your diction is, because no one will know. Huh? So we have to find a balance between like both. Like so we go. And so we can always send the sound even further out, right? And that's sort of where we're trying to find that energy. The more you can send it, the more the audience gets, and then they start forgiving you a little bit, right? Because if it's always held in, then they're like, oh, why don't you give me more? Because there's so much more to give. Okay, can we start at the same spot? And then we'll go to the end, and I'll talk a little bit about that. Just on that measure, vibrato is an interesting thing. You know, modern science hasn't actually proven where vibrato comes from. If you talk to Dr. Ingo Tietze, the straw phonation person, he'll tell you it is a reflexive muscle reaction between the thyroid and basically it's a muscular reflex, right, that happens between both of those to allow it to have a little bit of shimmer. But I think one thing to think about is, in order to have that reflex happen, we can't hold it too tight, right? So right now, it's very stable. I want it to be a little loose and stable. So you can let it say, right? So can you actually get me? Yeah. You can lose your area. You're good. Yeah. Can you think of that being the area you use when you get to the top? Right? And just like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. You feel that? Yeah, what does that feel like to you? Yeah. Okay, so physically, what is the difference? Less, yeah? Okay, try one more time. And then as you get to the top note, throw the tool away, yeah? Yeah, good, yeah. So you feel that difference, right? Okay, so if I told you that the entirety of the song has to be sung with that type of drum. Okay, now, so good. So all of this is within the very easy realm of production for you. So let's talk about the body compliance, right? So easy thing, right? Send, release, whole thing, send, release, up. The body has to also tell the story. So right now, here, stand a little forward. All right, so what do you feel? What do you feel your body saying? Is it part of this sort of dancing, singing? Like, what is this? What does that figure mean to you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So which an accordion is polka, that sort of like two-step, like that sort of dance idea. And so is this that sort of idea, or is it a little more? Yeah. So can we start from the top one more time? I want you to make eye contact with someone there. I mean, they can't really see who you're making eye contact with, but you'll know in your brain. When you're singing to them, you're telling them about this dance, about this story, and you're trying to invite them to be a part of it. Makes sense? Allow your body to be loose. Because if the body is loose, the voice will be loose. If the body is tight, what's the voice will be? Tighter, yeah. So keep it. Right, from the top, you don't have to play all the crazy stuff, but maybe 2 measures for voice. Yeah, I can't hear that. Yeah, you feel your body get a little tight again? Right, so can we go top of 132, first system, third measure. So we're going to be Renyue. So now, fun. As you hold these notes, can you think of your tongue? Do this. So you go, there you go. You went, closer. You got it once again. Yeah, it's only usually a bolus. As you're holding that pitch, let it keep coming out of your mouth. Okay, can we start from that Sudami? Thank you. So, when I do recitals, or when I have connection, I always start here, right? But this song doesn't feel like a crook of the piano song, right? It feels more like a 1.5 meters from the piano song. I use American feet, right? So I want you to actually start the song talking to, and then as you get to a section, talk to that group there. Then you talk to that big clump there. Then you talk to down here. Then you talk to over there. Right? We're going to bring the whole audience into it. Now, you don't have to take 2 big steps. You don't have to. If you want to, take up as much space as you want. But I want to see you move with sort of vivacity. Makes sense? So you're sort of not necessarily like super light. Because I want you to think more about how light and fluid it can be rather than how it can be. Make sense? Okay, let's start from the top one more time. Move this out of the way so you can move. Oh, from the beginning, yeah. The 2 measures proportion. That's it, yeah. With the whole slew of people, right? The further we get away, the more we stop relying upon the safety blanket of the piano, and the more we start letting our voice do this. Okay. Thank you.
Everyone, I'll be singing Ridente, calma by Mozart.
things that you are working on with this? Intonation. Okay, and so why do you feel like your intonation is not quite where you want it to be?
I just found out like not giving enough air, I guess.
Okay.
And my palate is not open.
Yeah, and also, you know, this song, a lot of middle voice, right? So middle voice is always the toughest part for treble voices. It's good to work on, right? Because you're gonna sing it. But it is a hard place to live. Okay, so can we start it again? Can we do it on an O? Like an almost German O. O. Yeah, and then allow the tongue to do this O. So and just allow that position to stay the same, but the pitch will change, right? Your experience of the vowel will be different as you go through the song, but just like keep that position similar. Let's see what happens, okay?
But I just need to
Ooh, yeah. And what else? Was it easier to get through phrases?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that is very important, classical singing wise, right? Different for other types and genres of singing, but classical singing wise, where we have to be our own amplifier, our own, gain control timbre, is that we have to find a laryngeal position that is slightly lower, slightly more stable. Because we go, all of a sudden we can use that entirety of our resonance to sing through. Right? So did you feel how this, right? So do it from saying it, right, feel that opening up a little bit? Now, it has to be that open the whole time. Now, even though it's that open the whole time, you don't have to hold it, right? Because then when you want to, that's what happened. You held it. So instead of, you just allow the position to stay the same, but you allow the air to send more through. All we're trying to do here when we sing is eliminate extra muscular activity, right? The less muscles that we have to use in order to find a good resonant position, the better off we will be. All right? If we have to do too much, then all of a sudden, what we're doing is doing too much instead of just finding that equilibrium position that sends more air through. Right? So when you send more air through, how does that feel?
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's like more.
And you felt like this motion,
yeah.
right? Yeah. This motion is something that we all, a lot of classical singers will do. You'll see people singing here, and then they'll be like, to themselves, because they have to remember that air has to keep moving. If the air stops, then all of a sudden we're squeezing, and then what's going to happen? Squeeze upon squeeze upon squeeze, and then all of a sudden we get very tired. Okay? Can we do the O one more time, and then after that first one, I want you to change into the text.
Okay.
But keep that O position, thought, as you are singing the entirety of the song. Okay? This whole piece, Larghetto, is a long legato. Right? Even these little, so how do you get about making sure legato is still a big portion of the scene? Or do you know what legato means?
Yeah.
So how do you make sure legato is still very important? Lengthen the vowels, and then how does that work when they're next to each other? Okay, so I'll tell you, a man named Ken Weiss, he is an opera coach at Washington National Opera, as well as he works at a few universities near DC. He always said that legato is a string that just connects every single note together. Now, what does that mean? It's not like you're actually going to string them together and connect them, right? So what is that string that's connecting everything? Air, yes. So instead of, can you actually go a little slurpy on me? We're going to go a little slurpy just so you can find that easy legato slurp, and then we're going to tighten it up a little bit. Right? Same O vowel, so we're scaffolding. O vowel, the O vowel I think is the best thing to do right now, because it keeps this much more stable here, as opposed to like, okay? So instead of like, that zero comes in because you've done that slurpy work. Now, can you just do the slurpy, but faster? But don't do it so it's so right? So it still has articulation, but now we're making sure everything is much more connected.
Okay.
It's going to feel much more gunky. And I think this is something that I talk about this a lot with diction. Diction is important because if we don't have text, then what are we singing, right? But at the same time, if we go so far that the text is 120% of what we're trying to get across, then we lose the color of the voice. And the fun part about this is that the color of the voice has just as much emotional impact as the text needs. I would often say more, right? Because, when you listen, when some people listen to Italian opera or something, they will feel these emotions. They don't speak Italian. Back in the day, they didn't have supertitles. They had no idea what's happening. But that emotion in the text actually is what draws them through, right? Now we have titles and everything, so now it's a balance. But I want you to think more about how the tone that you're trying to find is carrying emotional energy. Like, what sort of tone are you looking for when you start this song? Not too strong.
This is like calming.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Right? But calming in a way that's like, are you calming someone? Or are you calming yourself?
Calming myself.
Yes, so you're calming someone outside of you. So it has to be overly calm. Make sense? Okay. Can we start it again? Little slurpy still, but quicker. O vowel in the rhythm. here on the slide, so they're not so like slidey. It's so Mozart. But like, you know what? I like that connection. Now let's talk about this. Now, when you're coming down from that sort of headier tone into basically straight up vocals, what are you thinking? Like, how do you connect it? Because do you feel how a little bit of extra air starts seeping through? As you went down? Why do you think that happens? On the way down? Yeah? Okay, so how can you sort of re-articulate it so it moves into that better position for that resonance? Because here it's fine, right?
Yeah.
But then here.
For me, I think it's okay. I really need to
Yeah. Good. Okay, now, I want you to think of air and then one thing. So my mentor, he works at Indiana University. It's one of the largest, well, actually, is it the largest music school in the States? I don't know. One of them. A lot of people in Indiana, you know. Do you know where Indiana is? No, exactly. Okay, so one of the things that he always talks about is something called velopharyngeal opening, right? Now, this is an interesting concept, and this is sometimes I get a little pushback on this, but there is a method to the madness, right? So, with classical singing, with the lowered laryngeal position, your soft palate by default will raise a little bit, right? It's just a natural thing. Everyone breathe in through an ooh, right? You feel how the larynx goes down, you feel how the soft palate goes up, right? All right, so everyone just breathe in your nose, right? Innately, your soft palate will go up even if you breathe through your nose. Right? Part of it is Bernoulli effect, part of it is, you know, muscular usage. So, soft palate is always going to go up. When we start holding it, that's when it starts getting stuck. So, here you're going, and stop. And if you allow it to sort of loosen. So, can you just do this for me? Yeah, so just on one side. Yes, yeah, one time. Now, connect it, slur. Yes, give one time. Good, shake your head, so you loosen your neck a little more. Yeah, one time. Good, put text on it. Yeah, okay, so it starts here, and then when you go down, it goes back onto it. It doesn't go up, and then it almost re-articulates back in that same spot. All right, one more time. Okay, yes, now, you feel how that makes everything easier. Top notes easier, middle notes easier. Now, does it feel super nasal to you? No, but it feels like it's looser up high, right? Okay, the looseness in this area up here, the sinus cavity, the cavity that is above the pharynx, is really important because studies have shown that if there's a little bit of energy into that point, it will boost a physical range of sound between, now I'm trying to be specific for some reason, 3,000 and 3,400 hertz. Right? So for instance, if I'm singing, right, I haven't sung at all since I've been on this trip, but whatever, I'm gonna sing anyway. If I'm like, and I don't like put it in that spot, you feel how it still gets there, but it causes me to have to go. But if I can like, I get so much more energy because I'm starting to shoot it into that spot, which gives me that sort of release into that space. Does that make sense? So, even though you are a treble voice, you can use that same strategy, especially in that massage. Right? G. Oh, that's why it felt so high. It's a G. All right, so try it again. So start it.
told me that it's like a lot and the
Yeah.
it was
Yes. So we're all about offloading here, right? The more energy we have to put here, the more we are going to get tired. And let me tell you, I have seen lots of people get tired. Have you seen the opera Carmen? Okay, watch the opera Carmen. Everyone watch the opera Carmen, right? It touches everyone. The ending has this 9-minute duet between Carmen, the lead character, mezzo soprano, and Don Jose, the tenor, who is honestly, it should be called Don Jose. He sings more than Carmen. He's there the whole time. But at the end, they're sort of throwing lines against each other, and then at the end, you know, if the Don Jose gets too intense, right? This is where he, spoiler alert, Carmen dies. This is where he kills her, right? And he has to sing. If he gets too into it, all of a sudden you start hearing it in his voice. So you have to find a way to always release that sound, because you know, the more you find that sort of looseness there, all of a sudden you allow the audience to hear the brilliance in the tone, and when they hear that, they will forgive you a lot of mistakes, right? If they hear you restricting and holding, they're like, oh gosh. You know, I'm sure you've watched people sing before. You're like, are they gonna make it? And then when they do make it, you're like, oh. And then when they don't make it, you're like, oh no, right? And so you want the audience to feel at ease, and the more you can give that full resonance, the better. Okay? Excellent, very good job. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Renyue and this is Jasmine, and we will be performing Green by Debussy.
All right, so how do you feel? Okay, so what would you work on in terms to make it better for you?
I would like more presence in the low.
Yeah. A little more in the sound, okay? Okay, so can you do a Towndrow or raspberry? Can you do a lip trill? Okay, let's do that one. Let's do that. So put your hands here. All right, so we're just gonna lip trill through it. Now, the fun thing about the lip trill is that no, you can't do it wrong. You really can't. And if you do a lip trill with an ah, so everyone do a lip trill with an ah tongue. So say ah. right? So now everyone say, do an E tongue, say E. Right? Do you feel how they're ever so slightly different inside of the mouth? You feel how ever so slightly the change in the tongue position changes the flow and the energy of the lip stroke. So in classical singing, actually in most singing, but in classical singing, we definitely want the top lip to get more of the focus, which means we need more of an E vowel for the tongue or for the lip stroke. Reason being, E vowel gives you the most sort of pharyngeal opening, whatever that means. Well, I mean, I guess it means opening of the pharynx. But basically, that sort of space that we feel inside comes from the E vowel, which is interesting, because you would think ah would be the most spacious one, right? But ah actually has a restriction because the tongue has to go back towards going ah, whereas E, the tongue has to go up and forward. All right, so can we just E vowel, E lip buzz through with this? And I know it's piano and all of that, but think a little more mezzo forte. Yeah. So, hands like here. Good, yeah. Can we just sort of, can we start, just start at the top. It's important. In order to get more presence in the lower area, in fact, you actually do need to send a smidge more air. Yeah, because the vocal folds, right? Do we know what the vocal folds look like? Have we seen pictures of these? These crazy looking things? Right, so they connect at the anterior commissure, right? So for the lower voices, that's where the Adam's apple is. For the trebles, not as much Adam, but it still connects here, like that, right? But the thing is, when you were lowering your voice, you use more thickness, right? So with the extra thickness, with the extra material or vertical, whatever you want to call it, you actually do need to send a smidge more air. Everyone feels it slightly differently in order to find that motion, right? So if you take the ah away, because if it's ah, that gives me compression point goes like this. If the E's here, it's further. This is lower. As a result, more air has to flow in order to feel it. Right? So it's going to feel a little more. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, that was a. Yeah, so it feels more upper lip. Yeah, better. Yeah. Good. So can you lip buzz that one more time? Can we start from the time one thing? Think more E. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I would take that one. Yeah.
Wait. So the wrong word was?
Well, wrong is a pejorative word, yes. Not wrong, less efficient one, huh? Yeah. Well, actually, that was pretty good. So here's how you can hear different. So I'm going. You hear all this, like, it sounds a little throatier, right? That's because the ah and the tongue is pulling back. Whereas you hear how it sort of starts picking up. Yeah, I like that better. Yeah. Yes, always more forward. For more, I like to forward is where my mentor and I we fight over it because he's like forward's not a bad word, but I was like forward sometimes is like I like to more like yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, I now have a theater program here, right? Yeah, have you talked to theater people? Yeah, okay, so theater people have this type of energy, right?
Yes.
When you sing, you need that type of energy in your resonance. Okay. Think of resonance having theater energy. Oh man, I need to keep that. That's something we could use all the time. Right, so it's always active. Instead of even when it's dramatic, it's still okay, can we start trying again with the lip trill?
Do I have to do it or just after the
Oh, with the piano, we did, yeah. so I love the sun. It is going to touch the bottom of my arm. All right, so can we now sing with the text? Now, if you ever feel like you must do this, fight for this. Actually, I want you to think, I want you to look at, you see that first sort of roof thing? Yeah, yeah, the light there, yeah, the square. Can you feel like your chin is almost pointing to the choir? Yeah, we're going to go up chin for a little bit. Just as a way to change what's happening, right? You're not going to sing like this because that's a little too much, but I just want to see what happens, okay? Keep going, yeah. There you go. Yes, yes, and do this. Yeah. So now, why is this position not good? Not as good. Yeah. Okay. So listen to my voice. 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 Hear how it changes? Because what are we? We are just a little tube. So if it's like a straw, if I go like this on it, you're going to hear that sort of compression. But if I'm like this, that's already looser. And then if I'm like here, for some of those higher pitches, even looser. Now, the reason you'll see a lot of classical singers sing like this is because we're always taught sing to the first balcony, not sing to the front row, first balcony. And the reason is because that gives a little more opening here. So even though that feels like it's lifted, it's actually just parallel with the ground. Yeah? So you're fairly tall, right? So sometimes tall people sometimes will fight their height. It's strange. It's like they're like, I'm tall, I'm not when I'm singing, no, I'm not tall. And it's like, oh, you're still tall. No, you're just doing that. So embrace that sort of opening, because just that gentle lift gave you 65% more sound. And what did you change? You just didn't. Yeah, you just didn't hold it down. You felt a little easier. Now, some of the French you're trying to do too hard. I know it's the darker ah, but like because you're going up on the E flat, it's gonna have to be right. Yeah. Ne déchirez pas avec vos deux mains blanches. And then lean into that nasal. Blanche. Yeah, blanche. Yeah, you're gonna do blanche. It has to actually go here. Blanche. Yeah, do it. Okay. Yeah, but don't honk it. No. You have the L here. No. That's better. Yeah, it's going to be much closer to just a regular ABBA. Yeah. So French is fun because it is already in a lifted position. Mixed vowels are your friend in classical singing. Actually, mixed vowels are your friend in every singing, but especially in classical singing. If you can get close to some form of you're going to get depth plus high. So if I'm saying lo, it's all the same sort of mixed idea of top and bottom. But if we get to, then we get drums. Makes sense? All right, so let's keep going because I want to keep doing the same phrase. I don't want you to keep doing the same phrase. Let's just keep going. Top of 20. Slurring into it, like sliding a little more. Yeah, a little more connection, just for fun. Okay. I actually am teaching. Well, I diction should never get in the way of vocal production. It should only enhance it. Right? So if it's going, it's too in the diction hole and not enough in the resonance spot. It's different than different than all of those. But they're always having to move out. Because if they don't go out, then, and if they don't hear you, does it make sense? Yeah. They gotta hear you first before the diction can be awesome. But it has to be a balance between the two, right? You're giving me, it's great. If you were speaking this, it would be perfect. Unfortunately, you're not speaking it. Make sense? Same spot. Let it be very actually, can you go? That sort of idea, just like yeah, but let's do it. Yeah, even more. So put a finger here. Yeah, one vibration there. Interesting. You use this hand to go here instead of on that side. Below here? Yeah, like your body always said. Yeah. Okay, so support. This is another thing that I sometimes will have arguments about. Support is a weird word because support, whenever somebody says support, they usually think, I gotta do something extra. And the thing about it is, you were giving me plenty of energy without this being help, right? When you do this, what does this do? Did that help your support? Or did it sort of pull you away from holding it down? Yeah, and then you're still trying to let it to do it, but it keeps it away from doing that. And the reason we want this is because if we're always tight. All right, everyone flex your abs. Flex. All right, do you feel how your throat gets constricted? Yes. Yeah, that's nature. Right? Because why? When we're flexing, we're trying to lift. We try to lift, we have to balance pressure because if it's just open, we can't get the pressure to maintain that muscular tension. Right? That's just physiology. Yeah? So instead of, because we're always releasing air, if we hold it too tight, especially at the lower sections, right? It's not very high, then it's overdone. Now when we get higher, we might feel a little more of that energy because we have to give more airflow, right? So that as a result, as we get higher, it's not going to be grabbing. We allow it to burst us through. But if we're doing it in the low section, that's why it feels weird, like it feels empty. Empty is good because that's not hard. Is empty hard? It's just a new sensation. Now, what do we do with new sensations? We play around with them. We see what the sound is. We record ourselves. When you watch a video later, you hear, oh, that actually did sound better because I'm not worried about holding. Does that make sense? Okay, can we try the same thing? Okay. You start right on it, probably. Every time from the top of that. So this is the beginning of Act 2, right? It's basically begins the whole thing. They have a little mini ballet dance, little chorus number, and then she comes out and then she sings it to everyone.
Yes.
Right? It's the old song, the folk tale of the moment, right? So feel free again. Take a little space, yeah. One of the things I think I want to talk a little bit about is with you is onsets. Now, do you know what an onset is? Okay, what is an onset? Or how do you interpret an onset?
I think onset is basically when you lower down your larynx, where your voice is at.
Onset is the moment of phonation. So it's the moment that the vocal folds come together with the air to make sound, right? So right now I'm hearing a little bit of extra closure, right? So I like to do new stuff every time, even though I would just do similar things. Let's do this. Do an E vowel for me. Say E.
E.
You know the tongue's a little tiny, right? Okay, stick your tongue out while you're doing it. And you feel how as it begins, it sort of goes. Can you think of it starting with a little bit of air? Go. Still think of E, so we're still. Interesting. So even with the H, you feel how once you go. That one's better. Yeah, one more time. Good. Begin with a little more. Lucy. Right, so that's closer to what we're looking for. Now, how hard is it for you to find out? Yeah, because you want to be closed each time. There was, I can't remember, I'm sorry, I know the English word. The more you can keep it in that sort of, I call it a soft onset, the less you're thinking of it being, think of it being as like wispy. What does the word wispy mean? whistle. Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be perfect on pitch. I just want you to think correctly whistle. That's the type of air I want you to use this time. All right, can we start from the top? It's going to feel very different because I'm now taking away what I like to call a safety net, right? Sleep. Like, you know, that feels like I can do it. Sleep. I have to trust a little more that it's happening. Yeah, trust is a hard thing with singing. Right? Do you trust your singing? It does, right? You have to trust that the resonance is going to be enough. That the resonance is going to enter the room, and the resonance is movable. Right? Can we try it again? Just from the top, yeah. If you try to put your voice in the same spot the entire time you sing, only like 3 notes will sound the best every time, right? It has to adjust based upon what the needs are, based on the registration, all these fun words, right? And if you allow the registration to guide you through that sort of loose shape, all of a sudden you're like, you know, that feels slightly different, but that sense of air moving, that sense of sound throwing is similar. And as a result, everyone's like, oh yeah, top to bottom, beautiful voice, right? One of my old teachers used to talk about PAVA-RV and how if you listen to one of his arias, you'll hear this cadenza where it will go, you'll hear ma, si, ma, and it's just like you change vowels because he knows that is how the voice finds the most beauty and the most energy and the most synergy. Okay, right? Can we just that's the bottom of the first page, the third system, the second measure, the lead into the third measure. And then all of that moves this up there, right? So much more sound, right? So let's go to you know, sometimes they go to what might be.
I don't.
Do you do that?
I can.
Do you want to do that? You don't have to. That's your choice.
You want me to?
No, it's your choice. It's your choice.
Alright.
It's written like this, so you
Yeah.
know it's going to be angry.
Yeah.
I don't usually have a beat. But I guess I do today. Can we start with there? And just that same idea, like that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for you is, I think you have an idea. You have an idea what your sound is, and you want to leave right here.
Yeah.
And I want you to share all of it. Because this aria is so beautiful, right? And if you sing it with such of that glorious sound that you just had, then the audience is like, oh, I want more of that. Then I want to leave. Right, so do it. Okay. Yeah, so page 4. Yeah, they're all up. Yeah. Yes, actually, you know what? Yeah, you play it. Yeah. Good, and just let the air do it, right? You feel right now you're loosening the tongue every time you do it, but let the tongue go la 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 la. Yes, okay. Alright, so if you put too much muscle in it, it's not going to be able to get there.
Yeah.
So the reason that B has to be in that spot is because you're starting to mix a little bit of upper whistle, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
lighter registration. And in order to let that happen, it has to be. What was that? I don't mind it. You're going through the process. What was that? It's okay. Yes. You feel how it has to feel like it's dying in order to find that spot, right? But you can't just go. Yes. All right, so. Can we do that? Seconds like fine exactly where you feel. That's perfectly fine because you have a lot of notes. end worse than you began, that's when the issue is, right? But if you end in a perfectly found spot, then you give yourself, the audience, the opportunity to just play around with it. I would play with that because that sort of height in the sound is going to help all the lower stuff too. It's just going to keep it from going, or like, and being more like, make sense? Thank you so much.
I'm going to sing Go Lovely Rose by Morgan Quilter. As a messenger, to deliver my message to my beloved, telling her not to waste her time. She seems very not to hide behind, to come up and face.
Yeah. Now, the fun part about this one is you get so many notes espressivo, dolce, you get the crescendo, you get all of these really nice appassionato, right? All these sort of con tenerezza, right? And so basically you have this song, that is a love song that you're saying, please give her this message to me. So, what sort of sound does that mean to you? Huh? How can we find a more dolce sound? and again, it's always about, especially for the lower voices, it's always about the more easy resonance I can find, the better the sound will be, right? And so, okay, so here, you can drive that up here. Everyone puts their that up. Right, can you put your hands right here on yourself? Say yum 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 yum. Yum 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 yum. Yum 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 yum. Yeah, go yum 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 yum. Good. So, okay, so now, the thing is, I'm hearing go, lovely rose. I need a lot more in the sound. Now, you use three. Good. Now, do you feel it sort of wider? Here, look at wider in your chest. Do you feel it going into the sort of heel of your palm? So here we go. You hear me? Better, better, better. Do you feel how as you get to the top though, your tongue goes and you perch it? I want to feel vibration. Now this is the cool part about being a low voice. We get tangibility because is this a resonating chamber? Absolutely not. This does not do it. This does not come out of you. If it did, then you would have a real problem. But this is a response to extra looseness here. This is a response. These vibrations, these sympathetic vibrations, these sort of forced vibrations in the chest are a response to looseness, subharmonic, blah, 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 science stuff, to this being, giving me a lot of harmonic scope. Because we go, oh, it's pretty, but it doesn't have that sort of, right? So do it again. And allow it to sort of keep that reverberation through the heel, the wideness. That. Better. Can you give me a little? Yeah, make this sound. A little like looser. Okay. It's like Yogi. Have you ever seen Yogi Bear? The fun part about treble voices, they don't have to do as much of that, but because why? I go, oh, lovely rose, that wastes your time and fine, right? But it's like, oh, lovely rose, that wastes your time and we start getting much more presence, right? And all of a sudden the sound has much more masculinity, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, more depth of tone, right? Because the thing about it is, if you were singing an aria, the other song, I would not hear you. Right? So the reason we use these songs is not only to express different types of tone, right? But to find that sort of naturalistic, open richness that you already have in you to allow to stay open, right? So have you ever heard, I guess I don't know if you have like, we have in the States we have late night radio, you know, we have the DJs and they talk like this the whole time. Like, oh yeah, how are you doing? How are you doing? You know, you say that, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? But still it's like listening, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, there you go. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, you feel that openness to the chest. I need some of that when you sing. Alright, can we start this one again? Notice I talk way up here, partially because I teach so much and like if I talk here the whole time I lose my voice. But when I sing, you have to engage that sort of bottom part.
Sweet and
when you start it, you want to be very precise. And, oh man, I need to say this. You know, as baritone, right? As a baritone, we have to sort of sound, I like to say like a trash panda, right? Like a panda that's going through trash. Okay? And the reason is, if I go, when I resemble to thee, it's clean, but it loses color. When I resemble, and you can still be soft and delicate with that color, but it requires that connection to this sort of openness here, right? And that is the biggest difference between baritone basses and every other voice part, right? Tenors, no, they're not a lot of here because they have almost every treble, other than the contralto, has to like be like, but we have to be like, it's really not that far away from it. And that is the coolest part about singing. Because all it is a bunch of different frequencies happening at the same time. So even though it may feel like, oh, that can't possibly be right, that is the looser version of it, right? And that, as a result, will give you the opportunity when you get to a big apostolato part. And then to give yourself that sort of opening to get there. You hear the difference? Does it make sense? Okay, can we, more of a do it one time like weird. And so, I feel like you're a little meticulous. Are you meticulous? Are you a little like this type of organizer person, or no? Or are you like, I need to make sure I'm okay about everything and it sounds good or something? Do you like cracking? Your voice cracking? Okay. So another thing about the baritone is you gotta get closer to that too, because this movement here is already helping you tremendously. You don't even know how much more depth there is happening. Because when you're like this, go, it's already looser just because I'm not holding it. Now, can we go to, let's go to the high note, because, you know, that's what we worry about it. I remember when I first sang this song, that's what I was worried about. So so this is the bottom page 4, third system. And not blushed, so to be admired. Oh yeah, suffer herself. Bitter, come forth. Oh, small. Small is the word of beauty from the light retired. Small is the word of beauty from the light retired. Bitter, come forth. Suffer the sound be desired. And God must go to be admired. And then right? So then you feel like it's fun. Then and then it doesn't cost you anything. Yeah. Because is it any higher than anything else? No, you've already sung a million of those notes. Then why is this one feel so much higher? Yeah, and it's the climax piece, right? So by default, your brain thinks high, even though you've sung a million of these at this point. Also, it's on a pretty good vowel. Now, so die. Yeah, the diphthong always comes in the last 1% of a note, right? Die. Because notice when I go, then die. If I do it in the middle, you know how I'm pulling back? Then die. That she, the common fate. And then don't do a weird musical theater extra thing like I do. But allow it to keep moving, right? Can we start from and not? Oh no, that's suffer herself to be desired. The more you can just you already said this a million times. Just open and throw. Yeah. Suffer herself. Suffer herself to be desired, and not must go to be admired, and God may see the common fate of all Israel, so that one. So make sure you're cocoa ready and not super ready. Okay. It's already going to be slower because of the rhythm. How small? Yeah, sorry. Oh, so second system on page 5. How small? How small? How small are thy stand? Let us so wondrous sweet and too hard, right? Like sweet, and then it's like a different sweet and right? Makes sense? Get used to, even though the consonants have to be crisp, they have to still be in the tender moment, right? All right, can we just do that same thing from before? Small is the word. This time you don't have to stop, but I do want you to keep thinking it's loose down here. The less you have to think here, in terms of like, the more you think, the more sound that will come out easily, right? Notice though, it doesn't sound as clear to you, right? Yeah. But that gets us much more energy out there. Okay. Small. Top of page 4, second system. The second measure. Small is the The AVA. So you're so wonder sweet, so you did sweet and
Yeah.
can you see that? Oh, so wonder sweet and so wonder sweet and the A vowel is a very so they actually have it in Roger Quilter is British, but they do have Hans and hand vowels, and that A has to have a little bit of that sort of right fronted tongue, or else it goes. Now what's interesting though, because like in choir, right? They might tell you to sing on. Unfortunately, when you're singing soloistically, it's not as useful because it pulls you away from resonance. The reason you do on in choir is because that has more overtones than A in a way that you can match up. It's easier to tune, right? If you hear a choir that can sing A all well together and it lines up, that's a 2 thumbs up. You know, there's a lot of American choirs, but this is the way to think of it, right? So the reason we want that, oh, so sweet, sweet, it has a different tone than sweet, sweet, because then you get the difference between and fair, and it's not and fair. It's the same. Makes sense. All right, excellent, very nice.